this is Al. In this video, let me preface this. So this video is going to be a little bit different than the usual TCG stuff. It's got some more just broad Pokemon stuff. Now, this started with, I don't really use Twitter much. I try not to. And sometimes, though, I go on and I see the trends, something happening, like posts over and over again of some I don't even know what you would call this. I'm such a boomer. Where it's like a prompt and then people will answer the prompt. So I saw this. What's your most obscure Pokemon fact? Then I saw a lot of people going over it with their answers and stuff. And it reminded me of, I like that sort of stuff. I like the obscure stuff. And I've done videos in the past about that. So maybe this video is not too off-brand, but I want to kind of talk about it and also document some of the tweets I've seen because it's just really interesting sometimes. Some that have these like facts or just forgotten things as well that I've seen, and I just thought it would be a fun video to compile, as well as I can talk about, some that I knew of or researched when I was making previous videos, and so I think it would be fun. In version 1.0 of Scarlet and Violet, some Pokemon at the start of the game, including Squawkabilly on the player's roof, can be shiny. All updates after 1.1, however, will make these Pokemon, the ones on the house and stuff, become shiny locked. That's really incredible. I did not know you could do this with the Squawks on the rooftop. I wish I knew this during 1.0, because I would love to try it. I think obviously you can't obtain the Squawk, but you can obtain a photo, and this photo is pretty crazy. I did not know you could go ahead and do that. Despite being legitimately unobtainable, you can see AZ's Floette in the cover of the official Oros Pokédex book, and if we zoom in and enhance here, we can actually see this dark blob revealing itself, it looks like, as the Floette indeed. Look at this thing. I know this is just a Pokédex book, but, these are all pretty much obtainable except for AZ's Floette. And, what a secret little Pokemon. But yeah, imagine seeing that as a kid. Just being like, hey, I want to get that Floette because it's different, but you're in for a shock, kid. Everyone already knows this by now, but if you send out Ogerpon against Kieran in a champions battle, not only does he have special dialogue, but his AI switches to only attacking Ogerpon, completely ignoring any other Pokemon on the field until she either faints or switches out. Oh man, you love the Kieran. I like when they do the alternate dialogue. You've got some nerve, bringing out the ogre now, of all times? Angry. I need to express anger better on this. Alright. In Pokemon, an NPC in Lavender Town asks you if you believe in ghosts and mentions a white hand over your shoulder. That same dialogue is in Pokemon Origins, but before the white hand is ever mentioned, for a few short frames, and you can actually see it. So yeah, I guess in-game, I do remember the white hand on your shoulder. Ooh, spooky. What a spook. And then the anime doing some justice here with the added hand. Come on. What a spooky hand there. Not obscure, but I delight in the fact that a couple seeing love discs on their honeymoon is a sign their love will last forever, as well as the fact that Alomomola sees herself as every Pokemon's mother. And I really like this Park Pad entry. She swims slowly in the ocean. She feels like she's the mother of every Pokemon, but many of them don't know how she feels. I love this description. Aw, she loves them, but do they love her? I guess they don't know. Fun fact. In the first Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games, Regice and Registeel have in-dungeon text stating that they are life forms with different origins. However, Regirock's text is ominously different and only says that it's a presence beyond the realm of science. Oh man, Mystery Dungeon is quite fun. Let's enhance this thing. Like, it does feel like Registeel and Regirock's dialogue should have been swapped. Maybe that was the case. I did a video on some Mystery Dungeon glitches and stuff as well, and it was really fun. Turns out, you may already know this fact, but Kecleon is so broken in there. He is very funny, he's so violent. Like, there's glitches where you can actually obtain him in the party. I don't believe that would carry over to, like, saving him, of course, but, like, on the map, you could get him to follow you. Be an ally. There's a number of things. But yeah, Kecleon's a beast in there. On Bulbapedia, Sarina is so far the only Pokemon with a disclaimer like this. This section contains material that may not be suitable for young readers. Viewer discretion is advised. Is this true? I mean, she does look cool, but I wonder why. You know, if that's the case. It's probably something silly, but is she really the only one? That's kind of interesting, if so, that's been tracked. If we go ahead and switch over to the Bulbapedia page for Sarina, we're gonna do some further digging. Looks like the word here is gonna be dominatrix that has made it viewer discretion is advised is necessary, alright? So we have it here. Yeah, we have to, I guess they decided to mention the BDSM aspects of Sarina. Did not think it was in here, but now, if you did not know before as well, we have a full write-up here about, that part. And so I can understand now why viewer discretion is advised on Sarina. Oh boy, what a Pokemon. What a concept. Yeah, let's make a dominatrix Pokemon, why not? If you put both Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon box arts together, Ultra Necrozma can be seen in the middle. Ah, there we go. The dual sets actually making an image. Oh, that's pretty cool. Man, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are so neglected, it seems. I need to do maybe an Alolan video or something, glitch video someday again. I like the glitch videos. So in Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, there's a glitch with a boulder puzzle that can prevent the player from progressing, but it was undiscovered for 18 years and was found by a fish. Do you remember this fish? If you don't know what this fish is, this is history as well. You might have also heard of Twitch Plays Pokemon, but if you haven't heard of the fish, maybe you didn't hear about that either, but, you know, they had this fish playing through the game, and yeah, he totally screwed up the puzzle, I believe, and made it so, you know, you can't go further. It's a silly guy. I love the fish. The fish run. Is that what is it referred to as? I'm gonna say fish run. It took almost 20 years after the release of Pokemon Red and Pokemon Blue for competitive players to realize that normal types can't be paralyzed by Body Slam in Gen 1, and it seemed trivial, yet this upended the meta so drastically, half the viable Pokemon in the tier list lost their niche overnight. Oh, sad. What the heck? Body Slam has fooled everyone for years. Oh man, is that true? I imagine. Competitive Pokemon is interesting. Golurk can turn into a cannon, but it doesn't do it in any Pokemon media outside of Pokepark 2. Does he do it in Pokemon Park 2? I'll double check, but that cannon art in the reference is really cool, and yeah, we haven't seen it like anywhere except the reference sheet. And it reminds me too of the, like, what's her name? It reminds me of the Lurantis as well, where its character reference sheet, I believe, art sheet, had it being shown off as like a flower, or it could be as well. And then only recently in the Pokemon Japanese Ecology book, I also did a video looking through that if you want to check it out. It was seen there. That book also probably has a lot of good facts, and I still need to parse through the Japanese, but I'm working through. One of my favorite pieces of trivia is the ultimate weapon is actually different depending on the version. X on the left, Y on the right. Once again, showing off our clear version differences, I guess. These things, man, I don't remember XY, I guess, this initial part that much. And so maybe this, yeah, it could not come to mind, but interesting things. I love the little details though. The color of Lycanroc's dusk eyes are based on the very brief green flash of a sunset. I can see that being plausible. I can see it being true. Very nice. Because, yeah, I mean, I love Dusk Lycanroc. The fact that they follow the day, night, dusk routine, motif, I would say. They could have done a dawn one, but they did not. But that's okay. Lycanroc's really cool. I like that. Once again, a win for Alola. You can actually watch your berries grow in Pokemon Emerald if you're in front of the berry patch when the time comes for them to grow. Now, yeah, if you haven't seen this animation, now you can. But the berry growth does happen and stuff, and I saw this, I got scared by this in my Gen 2 game, I think with the apricot tree. It's watching it, like, respawn with an apricot, a new one or something, and it was sparkling and stuff. I feel like that's in a video, a video about the little details in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, because they also do in Heart Gold, Soul Silver, since they have the apricot trees. apricot trees that have to like spawn in, you know? And so really cool to see. I really like this one. Fun fact, Xurkitry's top bulb turns off when it's asleep. I gotta show this to my sister. She loves Xurkitry. And yeah, that's a funny guy. This is also my first time seeing that thing just shutting off. Really fun, really quirky. Little bit of a obscure thing if you haven't used it, but I think that's really neat. In Pokemon Colosseum, Misdreavus is actually one of the most broken Pokemon in the game, and the reason why is that the AI wasn't programmed to deal with the Ghost type, so they will spam fighting and normal moves against it constantly. Also ground type moves, despite Misdreavus having Levitate. Interesting. I think Colosseum is quite interesting. What can I say? Have you had this experience with Misdreavus? Have you played Colosseum actually and had an encounter with a strong Misdreavus or used it? You'll have to let me know. There's a lot in this list, like stuff that, you know, hasn't been mentioned, and that's why it's fun to see a community come together with their own little facts and things and connotations to add, things to add. Marshall's Conkeldurr has a Flame Orb, but they forgot to make its ability Guts in the rematch of Black and White 2's challenge mode. I feel like I remember this. Flame Orb Conkeldurr coming in and actually just damaging himself rather than coming in with a strategy. You know I love the Alola facts. Alola backwards is Alola. How could I forget that? But, yeah, fun fact. And even in the picture, it shows a visual. I like that one. But also Alola fact. Not quite fact, but just more Alola things. Alola is the least visited Pokemon region in Journeys, and is the only region not mentioned at all in Horizons. Alola needs love. This is why I am including them in this video. Alola needs the love, I say. You can surf in this particular tree in the Pokestar Studios in Black 2 and White 2 for no reason. It never got fixed and is still present to this day. I gotta try this on my own game to see, but yeah, it seems... You'll have to let me know too. We're gonna have to try it out to see if this one zone can let you surf on it. That reminds me again of just old glitches that you see in especially Diamond Pearl Platinum. I also did a video on Diamond Pearl Platinum glitches, and you know, really cool stuff there because there were a lot of really game-breaking ones. I'm sure that you can remember as well. This one's great. I love this. Cut not only works on small trees, you can also use it for tall grass, but only Gen 1 to 3. And you can see using it to shred the grass, quite literally. And I'm sure many of you may have already known that before as well. I gotta go try that again. A really fun fact. Don't know if I ever discovered it as a kid. I don't think so. But I'm seeing it now, and I forgot. It's a fun little thing. But only gens, early gens. This is not quite a did you know, but look, we have an image. You're challenged by Roughneck Kirby. And then we got Cluffa being sent out. We see the reference here. Is he true? I don't know where he is. This is Platinum. Not sure where he is, but yeah, we'll have to see if we can confirm. But that's pretty cool. In the world of the Unova games, the canon version of Hoenn is from Emerald, not Ruby Sapphire. It's because Wallace is recognized as a Pokemon champion in the PWT and appears as he is seen in the events of Emerald. I guess, yeah, they are taking that definitive third version and using it. This is cool. I forgot about the, like, PWT, all these other characters in Black 2, White 2, and Black and White. Like, you know, Unova games, really good. I think, I shouldn't say Black, White. I think Black, White 2, yeah, in particular, as it says. But yeah, I can understand that, but we do have the different versions of Hoenn. To this day, Lopunny has only had one appearance in the Pokemon anime, and Mega Lopunny has not appeared even once in the anime, nor in recent promotional animations. Gosh, I can't wait for Lopunny in the Legends DA game. I can only imagine she has to be in there as a Mega. Hopefully we get some stuff with her now. And yeah, now that it is mentioned, thinking back, I kind of don't recall much of Lopunny. Mega Lopunny, which is a downside because she looks awesome. But yeah, hopefully we'll see more. Alright, we even have, here's more TCG from OKJLove. TCG content creator, especially the Japanese Pokemon card side thing as well. But he has Taku Anekawa the artist behind these Japan-exclusive McDonald's Pokemon E minimum pack promo cards, mouthful, of Chikorita and Slowpoke. They drew these 2 cards and then never drew another card again. Oh, they should. But look at these illustrations. I love them. They're so wonky in art, and I think that's really awesome when we get to see that in the TCG. Those wonky little art things. I love this. It's great. The hollowed tower location changes exactly in 1 pixel between Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. As we can see in the photo. Yeah, I guess it's very, very small. Am I seeing it? Yeah, correctly. We have a different image here. If not, like, very small. But that's interesting. The little details. We have a story back in time. Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire's development was so stressful for Junichi Masuda that it caused health issues and he had to go to the hospital. While moving to the GBA was already a challenge in terms of technical hardware, Masuda mentioned how the biggest challenge was the public believing that Pokemon's hype had ended and it was just a short-term fad. He visited America and saw all the Pokemon merch and toys being replaced with Star Wars, which was getting a lot of hype at the time due to the prequels. There was extreme pressure to prove everyone wrong, as they already had hoped for Ruby and Sapphire to be the basis for future generations, such as Diamond and Pearl, which were already discussed and planned during Ruby and Sapphire's development. The night before Ruby and Sapphire's release, Masuda had a nightmare about the game being a total failure and completely flopping, but was immensely relieved to walk into the game store the next morning and see lines of people excited to buy it. Reflecting on it, he said Ruby and Sapphire's development will always be the most difficult Pokemon project that he had to overcome in his career. Oh my goodness, I feel bad for this man. I can only imagine development hell for game design. Nowadays, it's kind of a different story, kind of a different beast, of course, but, you know, I can understand the pressures, the stuff. And I know this is probably my nostalgia talking, but I do adore Hoenn. I think it's one of my favorite regions, and Ruby and Sapphire Emerald, some of my favorite games to replay. I think also Alola too, but yeah, it's really great. Hoenn is great. There's so many things, and that's why I would definitely encourage you to also add your own, you know? It's really cool to compile all that interesting stuff. Now, for some that I can share, I think I did one video on the weak siblings. Most of these videos that I did, they're probably bad ideas, but the obscure facts and things does catch my attention to where, like, I want to talk about it. The weak siblings in Johto that show up on random days of the week, so there's, like, these floating NPCs, part of, like, a family, a house on Route 26, I believe, where, you know, during different days, they'll be like, hey, it's Wednesday, or hey, it's Thursday, and then they'll, like, give you something, I believe. But yeah, it definitely rotates around. And I already talked about Mystery Dungeon, I did a little thing on, and the, Heart Gold Soul Silver and stuff as well. Heart Gold Soul Silver has a lot of cute details too, like that and whatnot. I mean, all the games have their own little charm and things. We can also talk about, you know, the beta Pokemon, the old drafts and things, how many of them were reworked. Some of their designs are quite different. We can talk about discoloration between Pokemon through games, especially early on. Ooh, I could also mention a TCG thing about how little printing some of the baby Pokemon have. I think when we've had recent reprints for, like, not reprints, but, well, new cards of, like, Badoo, for example, or Mantike, but before that, there was only, like, 2 or 3 copies, or Bonsly, like, very low copies still, of Pokemon cards. And another one is that, you know, some trainers and stuff have not been printed on Pokemon cards, like, at all. Like, one recent one for me was back in Hisui about Kogita. I wanted a Kogita card, but we never got one, and, you know, my sister would love a Melly card, but we never got one. We got the characters shown on different cards, like, together, but not, like, on their own and stuff. It would have been awesome to have Kogita, but another guy being Drayden, he has not shown up on a card. Drayden, he doesn't have a card. I would love to see a card where he is, like, holding the Axew like a soda. I love that image. Why can't we get him on a card? And I'm sure there's a lot more obscure TCG ones that I could probably look into and research as well, and then present. If you'd love to see that thing in the future, let me know. But yeah, I hope this was kind of brief and good, entertaining, but yeah. I know this is kind of a little different, but thanks for watching. If you made it this far, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Consider liking, commenting, sub, all that. The usual, I know. But I really do appreciate all of it. I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye!